from our perspective, we've gone the full circle of basically people having fully locked down or fully controlled devices, whereby you've got just the data you need for your single purpose and everything else is locked away. Obviously the BYO trend happened, and off the back of that, people started bringing their own devices in, and then we saw a trend of the movement to basically just secure applications rather than entire devices. So again, organizations had the comfort knowing that the data that they had on their device was safe, but they didn't so much care about what was happening on the personal side of the device. Now it's coming to cloud technologies whereby data is effectively everywhere, so you need to provide secure means so people can access this data from any location on any device at any time. So off the back of that, looking at things like identity and access management, whereby we can control who has access to what based off where they're connecting from. So perhaps if the user's trying to access a service or a tool off a home-based laptop that's not managed or trusted from a location such as their home, maybe we would block that access completely because we don't trust that for that specific tool that user should actually have access in that location. But for an alternative tool, for example, whereby the security requirements weren't so stringent, we might give them access, but we might require 2FA or MFA off the back of that, so that a user is definitely verifying who they are is what they say they are. So I think what we're trying to do is really provide that balance between what IT want as security versus what the end user want, which is an easy experience. So we think the way that users use their device in a lockdown state, users will try and do what they want to do to get their job done. And you're right, they don't always know or understand that the way they're trying to do something is potentially not the best way to do it. So it might be, for example, I can't send files externally whilst I'm on the corporate network. So then you get the whole shadow IT scenario start to happen, whereby users will go to an alternate location and send that file via Dropbox or Box or some other type of public repository, whereby that data is now gone outside the organization. Now, the user hasn't done that deliberately knowing that that data has been leaked, but they're doing it to get their job done. So what we're aiming to do is provide them with tools that make their life easy to get the job done, but do it in a secure manner that keeps IT safe. So what we like to determine it as is basically the path from zero trust, which is what organizations and IT teams are working with now, to basically try and you've got to prove to me that you're safe before we'll actually let you access that solution or that repository, to a path that users want, which is zero touch. So they want a solution that's always easy to use. So what we'll try and do is give them the tools that they need to do their job correctly, whilst we know that they're doing that from a location that we trust. So when they're in a location that we trust, we'll give them access to all the tools, plus we'll make their device or their tools as easy to use. So we'll be able to implement things like zero touch or zero sign-on when they're in a specific location that we trust. So again, when you're in a location that we deem safe, it should be an absolute pleasure to use the tools that you have available to you, because we know what you're doing is safe and we know where you are is safe. Off the back of that, we're able to step up security on the device or the asset that you're using. Not to make it harder to get your job done, but maybe put a few more checks and balances in place to be able to verify you are who you say you are before you might be able to get that job done.